Good Monday afternoon to you guys. We put out a different video this morning to kind of warn you about what's going on with the stock market there. But we got another Watchmen update here for you. We got a lot of important news that you may not be getting from mainstream sources that you need to be aware of. Let's see what we got on docket for today. Pennsylvania is still picking up the pieces from the recent storm. You may not have heard about it, but it was devastating. Power has been out for many people for many days now. A ballistic missile, well, actually a cruise missile probably, hits Israel's main airport. Foreign airlines have basically all started canceling their services to Israel, and Israel is vowing revenge, not on who did it, but on somebody else. Alcatraz, the federal penitentiary on Alcatraz Island, is scheduled to be reopened. The president has ordered it reopened. We'll talk about that. And shortages showing up in the United States, especially in disinfectants. When you talk about that amongst the Watchmen updates, plus more banking issues, let's talk about it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates that you guys are sending in as the Watchmen community. Appreciate you all. If you have something to share, make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comment. The comment can be on this video or on any video on this channel that gets it to the right place. Thanks so much for contributing to that. Make sure you give us some sort of geographical location if it's relevant to your comment. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They do a fantastic job helping people get out of stocks and bonds in their retirement accounts, which is probably a good idea right now, getting into something stable and safe like precious metals. There'll be a link at the end of the video. All right, President Trump has ordered Alcatraz Island to be reopened. Now, it hasn't been opened in, 40 years or something like that? 40 or I think maybe 60 years. Man, time is flying, isn't it? Alcatraz Island has been not used as a federal penitentiary for a while, but it still belongs to the federal government. So we can just turn it back into a prison. President Trump wants to house the worst of the worst federal criminals on that island. And since it's in San Francisco Bay, it's very conveniently located for all those crazy people. Not saying that there's more there or anything, but there are more there. Quake of magnitude 5.6 on the Richter scale strikes Cruz Bay in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Of course, that's not too terribly far from the Puerto Rico. That was not unlike the 7.6 that hit back in February off the coast of the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico back in February. That was we're starting to see a bit of a string of earthquakes there, and of course, those are U.S. territories. Houthis in Yemen struck Israel's Ben Gurion airport with what is reported by some as a ballistic missile. But it is now being discussed that it wasn't a ballistic missile, but instead an Iranian Fatah II hypersonic cruise missile. Now, we've seen these dubbed as Palestine II cruise missiles by the Houthis, but everybody knows that it's a Fatah II hypersonic cruise missile. Now, this missile penetrated 4 levels of Israeli missile defense systems and actually struck the airport. The missile landed on airport property inside the secure compound, but it only damaged some trees because it hit a uninhabited area of the airport compound. Was this a warning? Quite possibly. Most foreign airlines have suspended all services to Israel as of now. Israel is promising that they will strike Iran back. There will be a response to Iran, not to the Houthis necessarily, but to Iran. And that could be a major escalation. Every time we've seen something like this happen, we've seen Israel hit back relatively quickly and hard. We'll probably be seeing that take place in the next couple of days. And if they're true to their word and saying they're going to hit Iran back, it's possible that we may see a strike on Israel and on Iran itself. Now, they've had a window of flying through Syria to attack Iran. But just recently, we've started seeing Turkish ground stations and aircraft starting to jam Israeli warplanes. This is challenging Israel's domination of the Syrian airspace. So the window for them to use Syrian air corridor in order to get at Iran is rapidly closing and may already be closed. So they may want to use that before it's fully closed. Speaking of bad governments like Iran, the German states now looking to ban AfD, the alternative for Deutschland, ban that political party member from serving as police or civil servants. Can you imagine if the United States were to ban all Democrats from serving in police or in any government position? What would the Republican Party be called if they enacted such a law? Well, this is what they're trying to do in Germany. They're trying to ban the second most popular party, but not only that, but they want to strip anyone who's a member of that party of the ability of being on police forces or working in government. Tell me it's a free and democratic location there anymore. It's not. Former State Department analyst has pleaded guilty to embezzling more than $650,000. How does a State Department employee get their hands on $650,000 and stuff in their pants to walk out the door? Might you think that there are a few lacking controls in the money spending apparatus of the federal government? And President Trump has announced a 100% tariff on foreign movies. So if you want to watch your Japanese films of King Kong or Godzilla, well, friends, that's going to cost you a little extra. 100% tariff on foreign movies. Interestingly enough, President Trump is citing national security laws on this, which maybe he's just doing that because that's what he needs to do in order to get it done. But still, I don't know how movies are a national security issue, but that's what's happening. Old Luke says, half the reason I am retiring from teaching is I am a farmer and a landlord and can't hire honest help for $15 an hour. People are not hurting yet. True. I mean, it's hard to find honest workers because the honest workers are in short supply. There's a lot of people looking, but are they honest and are they hardworking? We all kind of have seen that has been not the case recently. Mustang Mama says all disinfectants are in very short supply. We only received half our order for the farm. That includes hydrogen peroxide, rubbing alcohol. Why are we having a shortage of this stuff, friends? While many are made here, the components that go into these things are coming from China. Get yourselves stocked up with both medical and disinfectant supplies for your home. Have a blessed weekend, everyone. Think about that, friends. If you need disinfectant, that may be in shortage out there. Be aware of that. Make sure you got your wet wipes, your alcohol wipes. That's a big thing to have. When you can't have a shower, we talked about having hot showers. Some people who had lost power were talking about hot showers and how they missed them. Instead of a hot shower, you can use those wet wipes, especially the disinfectant ones. Get some wet wipes and you can have a dry bath, and it will remove a lot of the stink of you. gives the stink of body odor and everything like that. Most of it is actually bacteria. So if you hit yourself with antibacterial wipes, it could sting a little bit if you have any cuts. But those are very effective. I use them backpacking to make the odor go down significantly. So if you're worried about that, that's one great cheap prep that you can get stocked up on. Get some wet wipes. They do dry out even in the packages. If you get the plastic canisters that are sealed, those do last. They do keep the moisture better, longer. So think about that. But once you open them, they start to dry out. Karen, I'll put those down in the pinned comment down below. Karen says, yesterday I couldn't get online at the Bank of Oz and the bank in Arkansas. I couldn't pay my bills online. I called all my credit cards and paid them, and most of their recordings were broken in bits and pieces, but I managed to get them all paid. They then go on to say that maybe it was their phone that was acting up, or their phone provider. My bank, if you don't have your online bill put in a week in advance, the bill will be late. Yeah, make sure that your payments are going in on time, and ask yourself the question, what happens if your power goes out and you lose internet? Will you still be able to pay your bills? It's really a good thing to have things on auto pay so that even if you can't touch the internet, even if you don't have to interact with the banks, your payments will still go out. But have backup plans on how you're going to pay your bills. Some people have it on auto pay, and because of that, they don't pay any attention whatsoever, and they don't even know how to pay a bill if they needed to, right? Make sure you have the payment information, whether you need to mail them a check or whether you need to go on their website. Make sure you have the login information so you can go on their site and make a payment if you need to. Parmis Dax says, Northern California, Dollar Tree near us is more empty than full. There used to be 8 aisles of food. Now there are barely 3, and half the freezer section was empty and shut down. There was also a 9-ounce Folgers ground coffee going for $5 on an end cap. That was only maybe 20 on the shelf. Even the smaller items like the emergency sewing and first aid kits were completely sold out by the registers. Despite the store being more empty than stocked, there were so many people in the store as there was a line going down into the section behind the registers. Customers were from all walks of life. Continue to pray and prepare everyone. People are moving from higher, more expensive retailers down to the budget options. And Dollar Tree particularly is going to be hit with these tariffs like you wouldn't believe. They're going to start running out of stock sooner rather than later. They couldn't afford to stockpile stuff, so you're going to see them just start running out pretty soon. And that's going to start freaking some people out. Susie says, I've bought bananas at 3 different stores for over 3 different weeks, and they just don't quite taste right. Is anyone else having this problem with bananas that don't taste right? They look fine, but they taste off. I'm in Western Kentucky. Yeah, let us know down in the comments. Make sure you use the word update if you're having problems with bananas as well. PJ says, went to Sprouts yesterday and checked the bulk coffee prices. The price is now up to $15.99. In less than 3 years, went from $7.99 to $15.99. No inflation whatsoever out there, friends. We do have the coffee shortage that we're dealing with, of course, too. Granite Moss says, Massachusetts. A friend and her husband went to the local feed store an hour before opening to buy chicks. And there was already a line 6 parties deep. Limit 4 chicks per party. They managed to get some. My local Tractor Supply in New Hampshire had some yesterday, but there seemed to be a steady stream of buyers, and they were really moving out the door. Grammy says, here in southwestern Pennsylvania, bad storm Tuesday evening, this past Tuesday. Electricity wiped out. I know for a fact that that impacted a large number of people. Only came back on last night at 9 p.m. here over the weekend. No electricity. Coffee outside is made on a camp stove along with breakfast. So here's some tips on what they were kind of doing. Heated water for dishes, washed clothes with a plunger type washer. If you don't know how to do that, that's a 5-gallon bucket with a plunger. Make sure you use a clean plunger, and you drill some holes in the plunger so water can kind of get through it a little easier. And then you put the clothes in the 5-gallon bucket, put the lid back on with the hole in the top for the plunger to go through, and then you just plunge it. And that's how you wash clothes easily for cheap, right? So make sure you got a good Dollar Tree plunger. You got some holes drilled into, and that you keep that plunger from being used for anything else, right? Hand wrung and hung them on a line already in my yard. Dinner was cooked in our Wonder Bag outdoors. A Wonder Bag is like an insulated bag that goes around a pot. So you heat up the pot, and then you put the Wonder Bag around it, and it keeps the pot hot. So it keeps cooking the food. Super insulated. Great option. It doesn't take any power, and they're a good option to have stocked up on as well. Watched a movie on a charged up DVD player while the fan ran on my Halo device that charged my phone. Thursday, again, cooked outdoors hot sausage while bread baked in a Wonder Bag. Drove the neighbors crazy as they traveled to and from McDonald's. Here we were eating well, even made sun tea. You can brew tea out in the sunlight, right? Love you guys. Keep up giving those hints on what to do. And even in Pennsylvania right now, there is still 32,000 homes without power, mostly in western Pennsylvania from that storm. Almost a week later. Lady Farron says, food supply chain renewed my $50 basic membership with Sam's yesterday. Why? Because Sam's gets inventory deliveries before Walmart does. And this is in disaster situations or any other time. Working during the cough and our last Pensacola hurricane, I knew that they restocked their toilet paper on Tuesday, Thursday. It's still $23 for 36 rolls. Was told it's not good for septic tanks, though. Noticed avocados jumped to over $8 for 5 avocados. Yikes. Make friends with the stockers, and so that you can go on the right days to get what you need. A large bottle of honey for 2 pounds, still $8. Noticed Tillamook block cheese price holding, but I think the blocks are 25% shorter than last time I bought one. I cut that one into smaller blocks and froze it. Real cheese freezes up well, especially organic. So does butter. If it's real, it does. Karen says, so I ordered 5 of the 38-ounce Maxwell House coffee from Amazon, as that was the limit that they would let me order. I placed that order and tried to order 5 more in a separate order, and it would not let me. It said that the limit was still reached. I also noticed that on canned items, they also have a limit. Most are 10. So there are limits to how much you can get on Amazon for food items. Parmas, Northern California. For over a month now, the local Costco has been selling potatoes with eyes on them or molding. This has been the organic russet and sweet potatoes. They sit in the box being sold and bought in the condition at full price. Faye says, just outside Seattle here in Everett, Washington, we are at 28% cost of living above the other states, excluding Hawaii, New York, and California. My landlord is raising my rent next month $200. I live alone. I'm 68 years old, disabled. I'm on just $1,500 a month for everything, just $26 a month food benefits. I may have to seriously consider getting rid of my car. A lot of people are making tough choices these days. SDB says, Mishawaka, Indiana, I bought Meyer ground beef on 5/1 cooked it 5.2, and it was spoiled. $19 into my dumpster. Now Meijer took care of me, so that was wonderful. I'm here to say watch your beef purchases. Now Meijer has always had great meat products. This was the first time this happened to me at the Meijer meat department. And from KR, was just in our local Costco and had a mini Harvest Right freeze dryer for $1,600. It only had 4 trays instead of the regular 5. I checked the website when I got home, and it isn't on there. It must be just an in-store thing only. I have no place to put it, or I would have gotten it. Yeah, make sure you understand what you're getting into with the freeze dryer, of course, but a lot of people have found that to be great. See if you can get some extra use out of it by partnering up with other people or renting it out to people, right? All right, friends, thanks so much for watching. If you've got reports, make sure you keep them coming. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold about what you can do with your retirement account, there's a link right there on the screen. If you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up there. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.